Let us see how we can use Assessprep to answer these questions. These are end of MYP3 exam questions done in 2024 and set by teachers of math at Aga Khan. Now, this exam combines content learned from MYP1, MYP2, and MYP3. So to the first question, classify the following as either rational or irrational. All right, so irrational numbers can be expressed in terms of fraction. And we said you can either have a fraction in form of A over B, or all numbers can be expressed as fractions. For example, if you have 2, it is the same as 2 over 1. That's a fraction. So anything of that nature will fall under rational. So you're going to drag 1 over 4. These are fractions, so it's rational. Look at -4. -4 can be expressed as -4 over 1. So it's also rational. Irrational numbers it's very hard to express them as a fraction. All fractions of rational numbers are just, irrational numbers are just the approximation. But pi is one of the number which is irrational. That means you can write the number pi without an end as a decimal, and you cannot put them as a fraction. So once you put those answers there, you will earn A2 for knowledge and understanding. So on to question 2. Represent the following rational number as a fraction. Now, if the question is not so much visible, you see the cursor is in form of zoom. So you can just click the cursor and it will zoom in the whole question, and you'll be able to see what the question says clearly. So when you want to turn a decimal into a fraction, for our case, it is easy. You'll either type here, or you can type as an equation. You will just click the square root sign. It gets you to a place where you're able to type. Then you'll have all these operations for math. So we need to turn 3.1 as a fraction. So the first thing you'll write is, you're going to write 3.1 as this. So you say 3.1 is equal to, then you press this fraction function, which is 2 boxes on top and bottom. So this one can be expressed as 31 divided by 10. So why is it 31 divided by 10? It's because it has 1 decimal place. So that means it was divided by 10. If it was 2 decimal places or 2 numbers after the decimal point, it means the number was divided by 100 and so forth. So because it is just 1, you will say 3.1 is equal to 31 over 10. The next thing is to check, is your fraction in simplified form. That 1 over 10 cannot be simplified further. You can either leave your answer as this, which is an improper fraction, or some people might prefer a mixed fraction. But for this case, there's no worry for leaving your answer as an improper fraction. So insert your answer as that, and you score your A1 marks. So for knowledge and understanding, question 1.3, simplify and express your answer as positive exponents. So this tests the concept of indices, or simplification of powers, or basically algebra. So you can come and type your questions here or questions here. So you can do this step by step. Note that you can divide the numbers. So you can say 20 divided by 8. So 20 divided by 8. You can simplify that. That one you know is 4 divided by 4 is 5, and by 4 is 2. So you will get your answer as 4 as 5 divided by 2 in simplified form. So 5 divided by 2. And then that is for the numbers. 20 divided by 8, you get 5 over 2. And if you have a problem in dividing the numbers, you can use the calculator option for you to divide the answers. So loss of indices tells us if you are dividing numbers with the same base, you're going to subtract or minus the powers. So we are dividing n raised to 4 divided by n raised to 8. So you will have n, small n, and then raised to, because you are dividing, so you will minus 4 minus 8. So you'll write that, and then you write equal sign, and then you write n. So 4 minus 8 is minus 4. So you're going to write minus 4 that at that point. And then you're going to move down here. We do for m. So we are dividing m also. So note that we are supposed to minus the powers. So minus 3 minus minus 5. So minus 3 minus minus 5. This will be equal to write m. Write the that sign up there. I'm using this sign for powers. Minus 3 minus minus 5, that should be minus 3 plus 5, which is the same as positive 2. You can use number line, or you can actually choose the calculator option to help you do that operation. Or if you have a calculator with you, use it to do that. So because they want our answers or our answer as positive exponents, we're going to make sure all the powers we get for these unknowns are positive. So we'll have the first number as 5 over 2. And then we'll have the second number as m squared. So m raised to 2, that is positive. But if you look at n is n raised to negative 4. So we'll also have n raised to negative 4. So I want to lastly simplify my answer. All the positives will be in the numerator, but if you want to make the power negative, positive, it will go to the denominator. So this is what we'll do. We'll write our fraction, but in the numerator, we'll write 5, we'll write m squared, and then we'll write those 2 only. The denominator will have 2, and then we'll have n raised to 4. So that is how we have our answer is left as a positive exponents. So positive exponents is ensuring the powers are positive, and the only way to have a positive power is to take the negative power from numerator to denominator. So, and that will be your answer, and you insert there, you get your A2 marks. 1.4, find the measure of the angle with a given ratio. So tan 1 divided by √3. Now you are going to either use special triangle that we learned in trigonometry, or you are going to get your answer in your calculator directly. Now, if you use special triangle, we will know that this 1 divided by √3 will be tan 30. If you're having a problem in identifying that, let's just see how that comes about. So we are going to write for us to obtain angle A. So you need to do tan inverse on both sides. So if you do tan inverse on the right hand side, you'll only have allow me to write on this other side. So we can rewrite and say tan of A is equal to fraction 1 divided by root sine 3. And then we are saying for us to obtain A, we need to do tan inverse on both sides. So you're going to insert the tan inverse sign, which is tan inverse. So the inverse sign is always a small negative at the top. Then you rewrite the fraction 1 divided by square root of 3. So at that point, you will be awarded. So just write your answer here. If you use your calculator, your answer should be 30 degrees. So then you insert there, and you earn your 1 mark. And then look at question 1.5, find the size of the unknown side of the triangle. So this will require us to use Pythagoras theorem. Formulas will be provided and you'll be able to refer to that if you have forgotten. So you're going to use Pythagoras theorem. You can choose to rewrite here the Pythagoras theorem, but it is not required that you rewrite. But a squared, just a minute, a squared plus b squared, and then is equals to c squared. If these are the sides of, these are the sides of the triangle. All right, so with this in mind, with the formula in mind, you're going to use this formula to solve that triangle because the one side x, 21 is the hypotenuse, then treat 15 as one of this. So let's say x is our a, so we'll write x squared plus 15 squared is equal to 21 squared. So when you write this, you are communicating instead of writing the answer direct. So for us to get x squared, we have to move this 15 squared to the right-hand side. So we'll have x squared on the left-hand side. It's equal to our right-hand side. Now we'll have 21 squared minus 15 squared. Quickly use the calculator to do that. And you can obtain your answer and you write it. If it is not stated how many decimal places you should do, you write it. If it's a decimal, write it to 2 decimal places. So, but you must include this step that I'm writing now because you need to solve the right-hand side. 21 squared minus 15 squared. You can use your calculator quickly to do that and you will get your answers 216. And then lastly, for you to obtain x, you need to do square root of 216 and square root of x squared. That means you do need to do square root on both sides. And then our answer to 2 decimal places is 14 point. So we'll have 14.696, but if you want to 2 decimal places, the 9 will be rounded up and we'll have our answer as 14.70. There are no units, so you can leave your answer as that. And insert. Next question. An isosceles triangle has a base of 6 and its equal sides are 5 centimeters long. Calculate the perpendicular height of the triangle. You might want to visualize this by coming to drawing mode, and you can draw your isosceles triangle, and then you'll realize that the base is 6 and the other sides are 5 and 5. They are similar, 5 and 5. So they want the height of the triangle, the perpendicular height. So in this case, we are using Pythagoras theorem again. So this height will divide this base into 2. So this will be 3, and also this side will be 3. This side will be 3, and this side will be 3. So we just need to use one side of the triangle to get the height. So we will do a squared plus b squared is equals to c squared. So we have 3 and 5. That is what we are going to transfer on this other side. So let me write that quickly. So we'll say, let's say our height is a, so we'll say a squared plus, so you need to be very quick in typing and thinking also. Think quick, type quick. A squared plus b squared. B squared is one of our sides, which was the base, and we were given a 6, so we divide it into 2 because the perpendicular height divides it into 2 is equals to 5 squared. All right, so that's that. And then the same thing we did up there, make a squared the subject first, and you type it down, is equal to 5 squared minus 3 squared. Quickly jot into your calculator and do what is 5 squared minus 3 squared. So on my side, my calculator gives me 25 minus 9. So my a squared will be 25 minus 9, and it is 16. Don't waste time rewriting 25 minus 9. 5 squared minus 3 squared is enough. So our value of a is obtained by finding the square root of, or the square root on both sides. Square root of 16 is plus or minus 4, but because length is positive, we'll take the 4. And then we'll say height is 4, but the units in centimeters, write for centimeters. The reason why the mark is only 1 is because after you have drawn your triangle and you realize where the hypotenuse is and the base is, you don't need to really have this all process down. You can just say height squared is equals to hypotenuse squared minus base squared, and you write the answer. 2 steps. But for your understanding, I've wanted to write all of it, but you just needed the first step and the answer only. That can also make to save you time. So find the distance between the following pairs of points. This is also on the topic we have done on the distance between 2 points and also the length of a line. So we'll give you the formula also, and I can just write the formula down. We say that the distance d between 2 points will be given by square root of x2. So x2 minus x1 minus x1, and then squared plus y2 plus y2 minus y1. I needed to have included this another bracket here so that we have that. So y2 minus y1. There's no need for you to write the formula because the formula is already there. I'm just reminding you what the formula was, but don't write the formula because they have already given you, there will be no mark for formulas. But applying the formula, you will surely be given a mark for that. Y2 minus y1 squared, and then we can close our bracket. Closing our bracket means this whole square root sign get us up to the end. And then we'll start marking from here. You applying the formula, distance d is equals to, you have to choose what your x1 and, sorry, and your x2 are, and your y1 and y2 are. So let me just make my work easy by selecting x1 minus x2 up here and copy, and then I paste. Let me see if I can get rid of the square root sign. Good. So x2 minus x1, let me do it separately. X2 minus x1 will be, my x2 is 3, my x1 is minus 5. So it will be 3 minus minus 5, which is 3 plus 5, which is 8. And then my y2 minus y1, let me just copy this and paste it down here so that I don't keep on rewriting. Will be my y1. Remember where I got my x1 is where I'm getting my y1. And where I got my x2 is where I'm getting my y2. So my y2 is minus 8 minus 1. Minus 8 minus 1 is minus 9. Use your calculator if you're not sure. So for me to use the formula, I'll say d is equals to square root. Let me put bracket 8 squared because that is x2 minus x2 minus x1, 8 squared. And then I'll add y2 minus y1, which is minus 9. And then I put squared. Make sure you write this because there's a C mark there to show that you have really used the formula. So from here, you can write your answer directly because if you input this in the calculator, it will surely give you an answer, which will be 64 plus 81, because 8 squared is 64 plus 9 squared is 81. You'll get your answer as 145, but you need to leave your answer to 2 decimal places if they have not told you to leave it to any other decimal place. So 12.05 is the distance between those 2 points. So in case you are watching the video and you feel the speed is high, just slow it down or go back to that point you are not, you feel it went fast, and review. So state the slope and y-intercept of the following line. This is simple. Just write slope is equals to, this is in form of y is equals to mx plus c. Let me just remind you, plus c. So our m is equals to 6, the number near x, and our c is equals to minus 12. Don't write 12 because that will not be correct. So that is your answer for that. People have noted I have written it. I can cut it and come and write this other side. It's not a must you write this other side, but it looks, let me call it mathematically or aesthetically good. All right, that's it. Represent the following equation using gradient intercept form. Gradient intercept form is the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So you need to turn this equation into y is equals to mx plus c. Just ensure y is on the left hand side. I've just exchanged because it's the same thing. There's an equal sign between them. 8y has come to the left and x to the right. And then we need to divide both sides by 8 for us to remain with only y. So our left hand side will be y, and our right hand side will be x divided by 8. This is in form of y is equals to mx plus c. You can include plus 0 here because there is no c. You will not be penalized for not including 0, but if you just write y is equals to x over 8, that is still your answer and it is correct. Right. 1.10, write the equation of a line parallel to this line that passes through the point 2, -5. So here you need to be thinking, what are the properties of parallel lines? And from what we have learned, or from what we know, parallel lines will have similar gradients because they'll have the same slope, or they will tilt or lean the same way in a Cartesian plane. So you really need to write your line or the equation of a line in form of y is equals to mx plus c. So let me just transfer that equals to 0. In form of y is equals to mx plus c, just make sure y is on the left hand side and then take everything else to the right hand side. So I've taken 3x to this right hand side. It was positive here, now it is negative. 4 was positive, but 4 was negative on the left hand side, but when you cross the equal sign, it becomes negative. Y equals to negative 3x plus 4. So we know that the slope here is minus 3. Then, therefore, the slope of the line through point 2 minus 5 is also minus 3. So with that in mind, you have already scored a point there. 2 points actually for saying the slope is minus 3 and also for saying that therefore the slope will be minus 3. You'll not be penalized unless the state leave it in this form. But for me, I can choose the easier way. I'm choosing the point slope form. Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. Kindly do not repeat writing the formula because it is provided. I'm just writing it to remind you. So, but if you had said this sentence and then came back and said y is equals to y1 is the y value or the y value of your point. So the point is 2 minus 5. So the y value is minus 5. So y minus minus 5 is equals to m. M is what we obtain up there, minus 3 into x minus x1 is the x point on the x-axis or from the x coordinate. So y minus minus 5 is y plus 5 is equal to minus 3 x minus 2. So leave your answer like that, and that will be correct. Some people can choose to put the answer in form of y is equals to mx plus c. You won't be penalized for that, and that's good. Calculate the volume of the following shape. So this is the topic of 2D and 3D, and you will have the formula for this. So calculate the volume of the following shape. So we are going to calculate the volume. Your work is to just know the formula which will be given. For this case, the formula for finding the volume of a cone, this is a cone, it's a cone shaped, is given by a third pi r squared times h, which is perpendicular height. And all these things are given in the diagram. So you will have to write 1 over 3. Now apply the formula. 1 over 3 multiplied by pi multiplied by r squared. R is the radius of this circle. This is a circle, the radius is 15. So you will write times 15 squared, or let me just put 15 in the bracket, times 15 squared, and then times the height. Let me put also the height in the bracket. Height is 22. Like that. Use your calculator to do this, and if you insert this in your calculator, you will get your answer as, let me just check that quickly, divided by 3 times pi, 5,183.62. 5,183.62. This is 263. Two decimal places, 63. And the dimension for volume is cubic centimeters. So you'll write the dimension for volume and you get that as your answer. So you have gotten your A2. So using a dilation of scale factor 5 with the center of origin, with the center at the origin, find the coordinates of the image L of the point L, 12, -9. That's only 1 mark. Now this is under the topic of patterns, which is tessellations. Now dilation, as there's a way of finding this dilation, or a formula for you to find dilation. So you are going to get let's first go to where we type. So this is under the topic of geometric transformation. So if we are transforming 12 minus 9 with the scale factor of 5, so we are going to multiply. Let me go where those You're going to multiply this by 5. So that means each coordinate you have there, you have to multiply it by 5. And that is how dilation occurs. So 12 times 5 is 60, and negative 9 times 5 is minus 45. So that is your answer. So just multiply the required, just multiply the given point by the scale factor, and you'll get your answers that. And kindly note, we are multiplying that direct because the center is at the origin. Origin is 0, 0. There's a whole formula for this, but if the center is 0, 0, you just have to multiply by the scale factor of dilation. So fully describe the transformation that has occurred to create the image in the diagram. So if you're not seeing it well, you can just click and see how the image is. So all objects will be given in form of letters A, B, C, and their images will be given in form of something on top, apostrophe on top. So if this is A, this will be A prime. If this is B, this will be B prime. If this is C, this will be C prime. So how do we move from the small object to this object? It is what we call enlargement. It has been enlarged. So the first thing to state down there when you're answering the question, let me add text answer. So the first thing you are saying here is enlargement. So if you state enlargement, you get a mark for saying what is happening, enlargement. And enlargement is described by center of enlargement. And also it is described by scale factor of enlargement. So two things, center of enlargement and then scale factor of enlargement. All right, so you can get the scale factor by doing the we are going to use this point you have been given. For example, I can use A prime, the coordinates of A prime and the coordinates of A, or I'm going to use lines. So I'll use line AB and line A prime, B prime to see how it has enlarged. So for example, if I use line AB, point A has a coordinate of 2, 2. So I'll write point A is 2, 2. Then point B has a coordinate of 4, 3. As a coordinate of 4, 3. So I can really get how far or what is the distance between point A and point B. So point A 2, 2 and B 4, 3. Now, if you can visualize this, the distance between A and where B is only 2 steps, counting 1, 2 there. And the distance between A and B vertically is just 1, like rise and run. So you'll have to run from A, you have to run 2 steps, and then you rise 1 step to reach B. So let's look at how that is for A prime and B prime. So A prime, let me look at what to put on A prime. Can put this. A prime is 4, 4. So 4, 4. And the B prime is put this and put this. B prime is, let me check, that should be 10, 7. B prime is 10, 7. All right. So we were saying we ran 2 times and then rose 1 time to reach B. So run twice, then rise once to reach B from A. And then let's see how many times are we running from A prime to B prime. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are run 6 times. And then how many times are we rise from A to B? 1, 2, 3. So rise thrice or 3 times to reach B prime from A prime. Let me copy this thing so that I don't retype from B prime. Okay. So calculating a scale factor needs you to have such. There are so many ways of doing that, but you can clearly see how you can get that using this. Now you are running twice and now you are running 6 times. So you ask yourself, how many times are the two apart from each other? For example, for you to reach 6 and you have 2, you'll have to multiply 2 times 3 to have 6. Okay, that is done. Look at how many times you rise. You rise once, and then for this, the enlarged object, you rise thrice. So you also see that you have to multiply 1 by 3 to get 3. So then your scale factor there becomes 3. So scale factor of enlargement. So that's you can write that and then get the answer. This is A3 and C2. So those are that's how you get that mark. There are so many ways. GeoGebra is here. You can try to manipulate or see what is the distance between different objects. You can start that by plotting all those points in that diagram, and then you actually measure. GeoGebra has some functionalities that will help you determine the length of a line. Let me pass through that. If you didn't understand the first method, let me put down the second method. Okay. All right. So the second method is us putting points on the diagram. Remember, point A was 2, 2, 2, 2 there. Point B was, let me rush back and check. Should be 3, 4. Point B was 4, 3, not 3, 4. So 4, 3. And then point C was 4, 0 there. So you can draw your polygon or your triangle. So if you just draw that way, immediately you finish, it is giving you the distance between A and B. It has been named as segment, should be AB. Segment AB gives that 2.24 approximately, which is T1, which is C. C is AB. And make sure your points are very clear. All right, let's plot the larger object. The larger object point A prime is on 4, 4. A prime is on 4, 4. And then B prime is on 4, 4, 4. And then point B prime is 10, 7. So you're going to move, I'm going to enlarge you. I'm going to make sure you have those points. So 10, 7, you can also write So if you can't have an exact value, so 10, 7, still not visible. Okay, so 10, 7. I just want to point it to a specific part so that I can decide and rewrite that. So E is 10, 7, so I'll come here and change it because mine is not exact. So this is 10, and then this is 7. 10, 7, good. And then we have C prime, which is 10, -2. So 10, -2. Let me put point 10, -2. Right, so 10, -2, that's okay. And then we are going to draw a polygon from D, E, F, and then that. Now, we are interested in a similar line as AB, which is line DE. So let's look at F. F is here, it is 6.71, and the other one was 2.24. Allow me to exit this mode. So after getting these two segments or comparing two segments, so I have 6.71 and I have 2.24. I'm going to, you can save so that what you did can be seen. So you can save that and then you will come here. You will come here and write, you will write, let me write method 2. Method 2. So you'll come here and write A prime, A prime, B prime divided by or slash, not there, slash, okay, let me copy this, let me copy it there, A prime, B prime, okay, so let me put this, A prime, B prime divided by AB should be equal to, we said that was 6.71 divided by, let me put fraction 6.71 divided by 2.24. So if you use your calculator, you will get an answer like 2.99. Just a minute, I check it, 2.9955. So if you take this to two decimal places, they will turn up to 3. If you round up and it will be 3. So you see you'll just get the same answer. So you can either use segments to get scale factor, or you can use that method. Okay. Solve and verify your answer. 2x plus 7 is equals to 11. This is algebra and quite doable. So 2x plus 7 is equals to 11. So you're going to move any number which is near x to the right hand side, and this will be 2x is equal to 11 minus 7. So solve for right hand side. 11 minus 7 is 4. And then divide every side by 2. And then you'll get your answer as x equals to 2. So that is quite easier. A1, C1. And then use any algebraic method of your choice. Solve the following linear systems. Okay, I'm seeing these two linear systems. We said you can use any method. So if they have placed here GeoGebra, you can use GeoGebra, but then they have said algebraic, so you have to really type or use algebra. So I'll choose to use a substitution. Then I'll write my two systems down. 6x is equals to 2y minus 8. And then the other system is 5y minus 5x is equals to plus 10 is equals to 0. The second equation looks easier to use because I see 5, 5, and then 10. So you can divide everywhere by 5, and it will become y minus 5 plus 2 is equals to 0. And this is 5x, then plus 2 equals to 0. So what did you do here is divide through by 5. Okay, so I can make my y the subject for the ones I've divided through, and I'll get 5x minus 2, because when you move this to the other side, the sign changes. I can substitute now. That's where the catch is. That is where the methodology is. 6x is equals to 2y. I'm substituting my value of y I've obtained now to one of my equation up there, which is the other equation. So 2y minus 8. 2y minus 8. So after you write that, you can open your bracket. This should be 10x. 2 times 5x is 10. 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. And then minus 8. Collect like terms, we'll have 6x minus 10x is equals to minus 4 minus 8. 6x minus 10x is minus 4x, and minus 4 minus 4 is minus 12. Divide both sides by minus 4, and you'll get your answer as 3. So you can use your calculator to do that, divide, and you get your answer as 3. Remember, y up here was equal to 5x minus 2. You can rewrite that and say y is equals to 5. X is 3, then minus 2. So 5 times 3 is 15, minus 2. So y is 13. So leave your answer in coordinate form. X is 3, y is 13. You have your answer as that, and then we insert. Now come to second last question. The difference between two numbers is divided by 2, and the result is 3. Find these two numbers. If triple the smaller number is 4 less than double the larger number. So this is algebra in year 7. So let the two numbers be A and B. Now let's check the first sentence. The difference between the two numbers is divided by 2. So I'll put a disclaimer here that B is bigger than, is greater than A. Let me see if I can get a special character of greater than. Yeah, it's here. So B is greater than A. So I know B is my bigger number. So they have said the difference. The difference means you subtract. The difference between two numbers is divided by 2. So that means we'll have an aspect of a fraction. So we'll say B minus A divided by 2 is equal to 3. The result is 3. Find these two numbers if triple the smaller number. Remember our smaller number was A. So triple the smaller number. So 3A is the same as equal sign, is 4 less than double the larger number. So double is like 2 times. So 2B, 4 less. So 3A is equals to 2B minus 4. So triple the smaller number is 4 less. That means if you have the larger, if you double the larger number and subtract 4, that is, you'll get our triple the smaller number. So these two systems have formed a linear system. There are two linear systems, or this is a linear system with equations. Let's look at number 1. The B minus A over 2 is equals to 3. So I'm going to use this arrow here and say that B minus A over 2 is equals to 3 will become B minus A is equal to 6. Why? Because I have cross multiplied. 2 has gone to the right hand side and it has become 6. Now, I can use any method to solve this, even graphically, if GeoGebra is provided. If not, you can use algebra. So from my first equation, I can make B the subject. So I'll say B is equals to 6 plus A. So I've moved A to the right hand side. So B is equals to 6 plus A. And I'm going to substitute it in the second equation, which is 3A is equals to twice B. Twice B. But B is 6 plus A. Twice B minus 4. Okay, let's solve this. I'm opening the bracket as before. So it will be 3A is equal to 2 times 12 times 6 is 12, and 2 times A is 2A minus 4. Collect like terms, you'll have 3A minus 2A is equal to 12 minus 4. 3A minus 2A is A equals to 12 minus 4 is 8. So A is 8, but remember we said B up here is 6. B is 6 plus A. So B is equals to 6 plus A. So, and B is also equal to 6 plus A is what? A is 8. And so 6 plus 8 is 14. And our B is 14. So the two numbers are 8 and 14. You can prove your answer is correct. Let's see. So the difference between the two numbers. So 14 minus 8, that is 6. 6 is divided by 2 and the result is 3. That is true. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then find these two numbers. If triple the smaller number is 8 times 3 is 24. So triple the smaller number, 8 times 3 is 24. Is 4 less than double the larger number? Double the larger number is 14. Double it, you get 28. And remember, if you triple the smaller number, you get 24. So 28 minus 24, you get 4, which is what the question is saying, that it is 4 less than double the larger number. Write that, it answers that. To classify linear system, classify the following linear system as either independent, dependent, or inconsistent, then justify your answer. To classify linear systems, you will need to put them in form of y is equals to mx plus c first for you to judge what kind of system is that. So we said for independent system, we will have different gradients, and also we'll have different y-intercept, or sometimes you can have similar y-intercept if y-intercept is the point of intersection between the two systems or the two lines. For dependent system, we say dependent system will overlap. You'll have infinitely so many solutions. So ideally, you'll put them in form of y is equals to mx plus c, and it will be the same number or the same line. Then in consistent system, these are systems that are parallel. That means when you put those numbers in form of y is equals to mx plus c, they will have similar gradients but different y-intercept. And we said for this case, they will never intersect. That's why it is inconsistent. They never intersect. So look at part one. Let me write part one. Part one is 4x minus 3y is equals to 15. That in form of y is equals to mx plus c is y equals to 4 over 3x. You really need to see it with your eyes as you do what, as you put y as a subject. So what I've done here is I've taken 3y to the right hand side because y should be alone either on left or right. And then after you take 3y on the right hand side, you'll take 15 to the left hand side. And then you'll divide everywhere by 3. Or what you can do is you can take 4x to the right hand side. Let me just write those things I'm saying. Let me take 4x to the right hand side. If I take 4x to the right hand side, it will be minus 3y is equal to minus 4x plus 15. 15 was on the right hand side. And then you're going to divide everywhere by minus 3. So left hand side will be y, right hand side will be minus 4x divided by minus 3. So you'll put fraction and you'll say minus 4x divided by minus 3. And then you'll have plus, you'll have another fraction which will have 15 on the top and minus 3 on the bottom. Now that is where I'm writing my final answer. Negative and negative will be positive, so it will just be 4 over 3x, and then negative and positive. If you divide positive and negative, it will just be negative. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So that is how the first system looks like. Let me write here. Okay, let me write down there where for the second system. I'll also move 8x to the right hand side, and I'll have on the left side as 9 minus 9y equals to minus 8x plus 15. Now I'm going to divide everywhere by minus 9. My left hand side will be y, and then my right hand side will be a fraction with minus 8x divided by minus 9. And then plus 15, I'll have a fraction. Let me insert plus 15 here. Plus 15 on the numerator. In the denominator, we'll have minus 9. Okay, so if you simplify this, your left-hand side still is y, your right-hand side is 8 over 9. So you'll have to put a fraction and put 8x divided by 9. And then positive divided by negative is negative. And then if you simplify by 3, is 5 on the numerator, and by 3 is 3 in the denominator. So 5 divided by 3. So look at those two systems. I'm looking at the system here with y is equals to 4 over 3x and y is equals to 8 over 9x minus 5. And this other one is minus 5 over 3. So these ones have different slopes and intercepts. So these systems are independent, so hence independent. Okay, let's go to part 2. 4x minus 3y is equals to 5. Follow the same process to make that the subject, y the subject. I'm not going to write the whole process down because you are not required to write, as long as you can see or as long as you can make y the subject. If you check very well, allow me to. Yes, if you check very well, you'll be given the C mark for writing the equation in form of y is equals to mx plus c. But if you type, you'll waste time. But if you can really see it, you can really make y the subject using by just introspection. you just do it. But if not, just type it down to see how the idea flows, and we can see you really try to do that. So if you make y the subject at that point, you'll have a fraction, and then your numerator will have 4 over 3x, or 4x over 3, sorry. And then your other side will have, because you'll need to divide by -3, so it will be minus 5 over 3. Okay, so that is the first one. The second system will be y equals to, we'll have a fraction, then we'll have 8 over 6, or 8x over 6, and then we'll have minus, because we'll have to divide by -6, we'll have to divide by that, and then it will turn to minus, so minus 10 over 6. Okay, so if you simplify the second system, you'll get y is equal to 8 divided by 6 is 4 over 3, so 4x over 3, and then minus 10 divided by 6, surely that is 5 over 3. So if you see this system and this system, they are similar. So that means it is the same system. So this is the same line, hence the system that overlap, we call them dependent, hence dependent. So write that and you score your mark for that. So that has been criterion A. Should take you less number of minutes I've taken to explain, because I've explained at the same time while doing. And I've also used different methodologies for a different question. So try your best, and let's meet in while we do criterion D.